couldn't fantasize that brand new sound. That Les Paul guitar noise turned the world upside down. Oh yeah, the music made me do it. Not a damn thing I can do. Oh yeah, the music made me do it. Now I'm gonna do it to you. Everybody loves the groove. You got to get up and move and take it into your soul. You couldn't tear me away. I need it every day. I love the rock and roll. It grabbed me by the balls when I heard the blues. Chuck Berry voted a little Richard too. Oh yeah, the music made me do it. Not a damn thing I can do. Oh yeah, the music made me do it. Now I'm gonna do it to you. I'm gonna do it to you. The music made me do it every time. Oh yeah, the music made me do it. Not a damn thing I can do. Oh yeah, the music made me do it. Now I'm gonna do it to you. I said, oh yeah, the music made me do it. Not a damn thing I can do. Oh yeah, the music made me do it. Now I'm gonna do it to you. You couldn't fantasize that brand new sound. That Les Paul guitar noise turned the world upside down. Oh yeah, the music made me do it. Not a damn thing I can do. Oh yeah, the music made me do it. Now I'm gonna do it to you. Everybody loves the groove. You got to get up and move and take it into your soul. You couldn't tear me away. I need it every day. I love the rock and roll. It grabbed me by the balls when I heard the blues. Chuck Berry voted a little Richard too. Oh yeah, the music made me do it.
And now, it's time for Ted Nugent's Spirit Campfire with John Brenkus. It's the physics of spirituality with attitude.
Ted.
Are we on?
We're on.
I didn't hear
We're
the
on.
intro. I love that intro. Where's that handsome devil shit? I wanted that handsome devil shit. Was that
Hey,
on?
yeah, where's the President Trump clip?
Come on.
Cue it up.
Ted Nugent, where's Ted Nugent? Where's Ted? Look at you. You doing well? You are a handsome devil. Thank you. Great job, Ted. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here.
All right, Brenkus, hang on to your left neck. Woo! Here's a love song. Everybody bend over, Rover. Let Teddy take over. I have the love song. Clusterfuck. It's actually a love song. Brenkus, I just want you to know, on this beautiful day, it is November 5th. It is my grandson Jack's birthday. He's 19 years old. This is an alignment of the spiritual planets where I just had another 6 gang. John, did I predict that everybody I hang out with, including John Brenkus, the physics of spirituality with Adam, and Courtney, and all our team here, did I not brag and predict that everybody in my life is just killer, cool, positive? I did tell you that, didn't I?
You did tell me. You told me that we started this by you saying, look, you want to have fun, hang out with me and my friends.
And I just said goodbye to father-son Andy and Logan from Washington State. They drove all the way to the Michigan swamps from Washington State to share a campfire. Feel the warmth. I feel the fire. I feel the fire. Anyhow, they came all the way from Washington. Matt, a Michiganiac who moved to Ohio, came back to the Nugent, Michigan swamps to share a campfire. Feel the fire. Everybody warm your buns around my fire. And then Chris and Tom, my Michiganiac buddies, Chris has done like 20 years. There, feel it, John? Do you feel it?
You know what? I kind of like this as the symbol of the spirit campfire.
Yeah,
I like that.
There's a message in here. It's camouflage, but I think you see the message, and it's a love song, and it's called... So things are beautiful at the Nugent Swamp. Let's take a deep breath now, shall we, Brenkus?
I'll tell you, Uncle Ted, I need a deep breath. A lot of people need a deep breath. There are a lot of people, despite Facebook's suppression, there are a lot of people who are pissed. Uncle Ted, what do we do when we're pissed?
We breathe deep. We identify the negativity. We gather our spiritual artillery of vote, communication, raising hell, demanding constitutional accountability from our elected employees. Let me give you an overview, if I may, Brenkus.
Please.
We asked for this. Everybody take a deep breath. It's our fault. I have been attacked for the last 50 years because I raise hell about every little incremental atrocity and loss of rights. And people go, well, why do you need an assault weapon? Why do you have to carry a gun? You don't need to carry a gun. The police are there. You don't need to carry a gun. You don't need to kill all those deer. You can go to the store where nothing was harmed to bring your meat. I've been attacked for this all my life, and so what I've witnessed, John, only the guilty need to feel guilty. That's very important, because I have a funny feeling if there was a small percentage of guilty people, they're probably here at the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire with John Brenkus, the physics of spirituality, with maximum attitude. But we have been too kind, we have been too tolerant, and I'll summarize it thusly. I listened to Rush Limbaugh, a hero of mine. Rush Limbaugh is the master of talk radio. He has a shit kicker attitude. He brings a fundamental street sass along with well-educated wisdom to the fray. When he comments on certain things, he covers me damn well. But when people have been calling in this year asking, Rush, what do we do other than vote for this guy? All we can do is vote. What else can we do? Rush Limbaugh didn't answer it properly. He said, get all your friends to vote. Good idea. That's what I've been saying forever. Your vote doesn't matter unless you get a bunch of your friends that don't vote to vote their values. If you don't vote, you're literally rolling out the red carpet for people who will take away the things you believe in. So here's what I would say to Rush Limbaugh's listeners, and I've been saying it forever. I'm going to repeat it now because we have backed off from avoiding to ruffle feathers when I've been plucking them literally and figuratively, for the last 50 years, raising hell when I saw the abuse of power, the criminality, the dishonesty, the viciousness of the media that would lie and claim I'm a draft dodger, claim I'm a child molester, claim I diss the Native Americans, claim that I'm a racist because I represent such conservative foundational values. They know they can't debate me, Pierce Morgan. They know they can't take me on with my tsunami of evidence, so all they can do is lie about me. And by not confronting our elected employees on a regular basis, at least monthly, hi, my name is Robert McGadden. You're my mayor of this city. I believe in Donald Trump. I believe in the Constitution, and I demand law and order in my city, Mr. Mayor. Would you write that down, please? Mr. Congressman, Mr. Senator, Mr. Governor, my name is Ted Nugent, and you know what my family demands. You guys work for me, and you're doing a shitty job letting all these violent criminals out while you restrict my capability of self-defense. And then when the cops do their job and defend themselves in an attack on their lives, you blame the cops instead of the guy that tried to stab him. And when you don't call your mayor, your senator, your congressman, and your governor and tell them that, they think you don't know and they think you don't care. I give you the fraudulent election 2020. Any questions?
Yeah. You know, what's interesting is a lot of people fail to extrapolate out what's going to happen on a grand scale. If something is happening in your house, you change it. If something's happening in your neighborhood, you go to the HOA. If something's happening in one block over, you start to care a little less. And then in your town, you care a little less and care a little. But that
you
is
got
your
it,
house.
Brenkus. That's it,
That's
Brenkus.
your house.
You nailed it.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen to me. Here is what I want everybody to understand of what 2020 is. And I think 2020 becomes known as the death of truth because nobody knows what to believe now because they've been sucked into social media. They've been sucked into... Don't say nobody.
Say those that are mushy-brained and those that have been buying the propaganda. You repeat a lie often enough, Mr. Goebbels, and you will start to believe it. So half the nation, John, we just proved it, half the nation at least voted God, family, and country.
So now what we have, Ted, though, is a situation. Here's what's going to happen. Everyone's like, what do you think is going to happen? Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with this. What's going to happen is all these stories of fraud or corruption or something, some of them will be true, some of them will be false, and it will be almost impossible to figure out which side is up, which story is true, which is right, which is wrong. And all of this could have been avoided. All of this could have been avoided if we actively participated sooner, earlier, always, not falling asleep at the switch. Maybe this is our great wake-up call because no matter what side you're on this, we're going to put up a poll question. And I want to know out there on the Spirit Campfire, how many people feel like this was a free and fair election? We're going to put up a poll and let's see if anybody is clicking, yeah, I think it was probably free and fair. Because I will be shocked, but we're going to find out.
Boy, this might not be the right environment to ask that question because we have the smartest people in the world at the Nugent Campfire. And I have a funny feeling I can predict what that outcome will be. But I think, John, that's important. On this day, on November 5th, on my grandson Jack's birthday, happy birthday, Jack. I love you. You are a great, great man. At 19, John, he is the state champion golfer. He's got a scholarship, I don't know, some university nearby, because he's a dedicated, focused, disciplined, participatory American life, liberty, pursuit of happiness dreamer. So happy birthday, Jack. But on this day, this is the question, everybody. John's not bullshitting. We're asking the question. We want your response. Maybe now would be the time, at least everybody at the campfire, from now on, engage. Engage in your home, in your yard, then engage your neighborhood, then engage your county. Communicate with your state troopers and your sheriff. Hello, Mr. Sheriff. My name is John McGillicuddy, and you're my sheriff. And I just want you to know that I appreciate the sacrifices and the dedication of the sheepdogs and the warriors. And I want you to know that I'm calling my mayor and my congressman and my senator and my governor, and I'm telling him that I stand with you, Mr. Sheriff, as long as you're constitutional, because my family and everybody I know in this county, we believe in law and order. Now is the time to engage. So we want that answer tonight. How many at the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire with John Brenkus and Courtney, how many of you believe that the current election qualifies as free election and a fair election? We'd love to hear your input.
Yeah, we want to know. Here's the point. Here's a point that I'm a little like, this is kind of weird. Leading up to the election, Ted, literally our audience tonight is 10x what it was before the election. 10 times. Because before the election, 10x tonight. There you go. It's like, well, we don't need to turn it off now. We kind of like we already got what we wanted. This is just what's angering me is it's obvious what has happened. It's obvious. Everybody's got to put up a thumb, put a heart, do something, shout to the world. There is just something that just doesn't smell right. It doesn't feel right. And around the campfire, and where we are nothing but positive, I am not saying whoever voted for whatever. All that I'm saying is I don't think anyone feels satisfied. I think everyone feels betrayed. We don't know what to believe. We don't know which way is up. Because we set ourselves up for this.
You know, John, you may have noticed as I swan dived as I kamikaze from the 100th floor into the Spirit Campfire, that I'm a smiling, happy son of a bitch. And everybody's going, boy, things are really bad, Ted. Boy, they're fraud and they're deceit and they're throwing away. We found a video of a guy throwing away ballots, and we found people bringing in ballots into Detroit and 4 o'clock in the morning in an SUV and a Ferrari and behind closed doors, and they won't let us monitor. Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff, but I'm a prioritization commando. I can compartmentalize. That doesn't mean I abandon any segment of any compartment, but I take on this as I need to take on this. I take on this as I need to take on this. So before we by the way, once again, the Spirit Campfire, John, we have a killer, cool friend joining us tonight at the campfire. His name is John Rich of the famous rhythm and blues band, Big and Rich. And I'm going to tell John tonight that I'm pissed off. I told Sammy Hagar I'm angry I didn't write I Can't Drive 55. I told Mick Jagger I'm angry I didn't write Street Fighting Man. I told Mark Farner that I'm angry I didn't write We're an American Band. And I'm going to tell John Rich tonight that I'm really pissed off that I, Ted Nugent, the master of the lexicon, the master of wordsmithing, Wang Dang Sweet Poon Tang, Intensities in 10 Cities, Double Live Gonzo, I failed, John, to write the song Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. It's how I live. It's what
That's how you live.
It's how I breathe. And I failed to write that title. So we have John Rich joining us here any minute now. And I imagine Courtney is the cattle prodder for our guest tonight. But really answer the question John posed. It's very important on November 5th, 2020. Do you believe that we just witnessed a fair and proper election? Do you believe
Let's see the results of this. I don't even know what it is. Put up the poll result. Herbert, do you have
Yeah, there's a couple of storms out there. A couple guys are comfortably numb tonight.
Yeah, listen, Ted, we got around 2,300 votes in like 30 seconds, or 1,300 votes in like 30 seconds.
Good.
We're putting up another question, Ted. I got a question.
Sure.
In your state,
my birth state,
do you feel like the result reflects the electorate?
John,
because I'm living in Georgia.
John,
I'm telling you what,
guy. I have like tentacles. I always talking about spiritual, intellectual stimuli. I think I mentioned earlier that my whole being is like the purple rim dick of a purple rim. Anyhow, my point is I'm really touchy for indicators. I really pick up on a lot of indicators. I'm easily stimulated. I've been with Donald Trump Jr. in Flint, in Detroit, and in Traverse City, the heart and soul of Michigan. I was with the great President Donald Trump in Lansing, Muskegon, and till 2:30 in the morning on election night, the night before Election Day, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I witnessed a fury. I witnessed an earth-moving, volcanic eruption of positive support for this president. I was with Don Jr. in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Altoona, Pennsylvania. I was with him in Michigan, then out in Kalispell and Whitefish, Montana. I'm not guessing. I'm not presuming. I felt the spiritual eruption supporting this president. So I know that my indicators are accurate, and Michigan is not reflecting the inescapable indicators. In fact, I got to tell you, my biggest piss off right now, the great state of Texas was much too close for me to accept.
Much too close.
Much too close. So we will continue. Do you have one more question before we bring on the great John Rich?
I do. I have one question that we're going to send out right now as a poll, because this is the good one. The question is, do you think President Trump ultimately prevails? That's a good question.
I will vote yes, because I'm a hopeless optimist.
Wow,
I
you are a
understand.
hopeless optimist.
I
But we'll see what the
understand.
Spirit Campfire audience says. Everyone's got to give us a thumbs up and a heart. We have a record audience tonight. People are going berserk in a great way. We're all gathered around. We're about to invite on just an incredible guest, an incredible song. We're all gonna take 3 deep breaths, and we're gonna escape for a little bit, and then we can come back with piss and vinegar and do all the stuff that we do.
So it's not coincidental, because my planets do align. Once again, I want to thank Andy and his son Logan. I want to thank my son Toby and George and Paul Wilson. They took care of the hunters here. Tom from Michigan and Matt from Ohio, a Michiganiac in Ohio, they both shot beautiful, big 8-point swamp bucks. Chris got a doe and Matt got a doe. Everybody had a great time. George cooked some great meals. We wrap up our open ground swamp backstrap boogie here every year in Jackson County. Everybody had a great time. And now that all my hunters are gone, I'm going to slay many beasts. In fact, last night, John, I got my 5th double of the season, where I killed 2 does in one night within seconds of each other, because I can quickly become cocked, locked, and ready to rock the Glock Doc. And I got a mystical flight of the arrow into the pump station of unsuspecting she-deer. And I'm a happy, happy hunter. So again, yes, I fight the fight. I get down in the mud. I fight the fight, and I demand a constitutional accountability from my elected employees. And I saw that in massive heart and soul passion and patriotism at the Trump rallies, both with the great Don Trump Jr. In fact, everybody go to deeranddeerhunting.com, deeranddeerhunting.com. I write a weekly Nuge blog, and this one is about my connection with the hunting families, the conservative families, God, family, country, freedom, law, and order, all across this great country with the president and his son. And I happen to know that John Rich is one of us. John Rich from the band Big and Rich. It's a rhythm and blues band. They think they're country, but it's actually rhythm and blues. I played with these guys. I can't wait to talk to John about that. But he has a killer song. And Brenkus, this isn't coincidental. John Rich has a killer successful song right now titled...
Yeah.
Represents what the Spirit Campfire is. It represents you, John. It represents my family. The title of John Rich's song is Earth to God. That's what our daily prayer should be, that we're just humble servants on earth. We need your direction now more than ever. So I can't wait to get John on, because I think he will give us the gory details of the inspiration and the message as he sees it in his wonderful, wonderful song, Earth to God by John Rich.
Yeah, we're going to listen to that in one moment. We're all going to gather around. But here's an interesting poll. I want to see if Herbert's able to put this up, because I don't know what the result's going to be. I asked the question, do you think Trump ultimately wins? Ted, 88% 88%. 88% say yes.
They're with me. Well, John, let me translate. I think because we have witnessed the fraud metastasizing, we have witnessed the deceit, the fake news orchestration, Hollywood, academia, the vast majority, 99% of the media, and the now Democrat Party that is now full-on Marxist, that is all motivated by hate. In fact, if you ask a Trump supporter why he's voting, why they may vote for Joe Biden, I'm sorry, if you ask a Biden voter why they're voting for Joe Biden, they never give a policy example. They say, because I hate Trump. So we have an election where we have to choose between Donald Trump and economic growth and unemployment records, and everything good before the Chinese attack. And then the other side is only because they hate Donald Trump. So I'm not alone on this. I believe that the mechanisms are available to this president. I saw a brief press conference just before I came on, John, and the president explained it quite succinctly, quite emphatically, and quite believably that he's not giving up because he sees the runaway fraud, deceit, criminal abuse of power, and corruption. And I have great hopes. By the way, everybody at the Spirit Campfire tonight, pray. Pray like you've never prayed before. Because if the Marxists, if Kamala Harris becomes the president, which is what it's all about, not about Joe Biden, he's going to go see, he's going in a home somewhere. It ain't going to be a White House. If Kamala Harris becomes president, we will be Venezuela in 6 weeks.
Hey, let me just tell you this, Ted. We need to give a plug to our friends at Patriot Mobile. I'm shocked that our audience is saying 88% think Trump will ultimately prevail. Patriot Mobile. Make sure you go to patriotmobile.com/Ted. Please make sure you're supporting Patriot Mobile. Honestly, listen, these companies, these smaller cell phone companies, they give you the exact same service, if not better than the larger companies. So switch. It's a conservative Christian organization. Go to patriotmobile.com/Ted. Use promo code STAND. patriotmobile.com/Ted. Everybody's got to do that. Do one good thing. That's your one good thing for the night.
This is a perfect example, John, how they can support those companies and those entities that fight for the things we believe in. And Patriot Mobile does that. Patriot Mobile is about conservation, about conservative values, about Christian values, God, family, country, freedom, law, and order. And they step out and they actually put their reputation on the line. So I really, really thank Patriot Mobile. I believe in Patriot Mobile, and I hope everybody makes the switch. Now, Courtney, is it true, John, is it true that we just have a John Rich audio tonight? Is that right?
Yep, just John Rich audio. So we can welcome him on right now.
John Rich, I got to tell you, Rich, you don't have a country band. It's a rhythm and blues band. I played with these guys. Tell me you know that.
Oh man, it's hardcore rock and roll country, man. You know, that was so much fun playing with you, Ted. We got to do it again.
Well, John, welcome to the Spirit Campfire. I'd like to start off. I'd like to introduce you to my buddy, John Brenkus. He's my buddy here at the Campfire. John, this is John. John, that's John.
Yes, John.
John. Good to
that's
see
right.
you.
And John Rich, first off, as this is a campfire, and there's nothing more spiritual and relaxing as a campfire, especially one that's Ted Nugent Campfire. How are you, John Rich? How is your family? How is everybody doing right now?
Well, the reason I'm only joining you by audio is because I'm sitting at a baseball field watching my 9-year-old pitch his last ball game. So otherwise I'd be joining you via video, but I'm at the ball game, stepped off to the side to talk to my Patriot friends here. So everything in my family is great, and I'm watching everything unfold just like you guys are, and you're exactly right. You need to pray for our country.
Well, John, you know, your new song, I was telling my cohort Brenkus here that my everyday is, you know, a prayer doesn't have to start with the sign of the cross and doesn't have to be a traditional prayer, per se, the lyrics of a prayer, the statement of a prayer. I think a prayer can be how you conduct yourself. Simple things like opening the door for someone who's got a lot of groceries, helping an old person across the street. It may sound corny, but it's what I've done my whole life. And when I hunt, I'm balancing God's mystical, miraculous creation. But tell us why you put the title, what represents the Spirit Campfire, that this is a calling, earth to God. Tell us about the foundation of this wonderful song of yours.
Well, a few months back, Ted, I was watching the world out my window and, of course, through the television, and just the level of chaos and the feeling of things being out of control, completely out of control, and making no sense, and every day getting worse and worse. And, I had to remind myself, just because things are out of our control doesn't mean they're out of God's control. They're never out of his control. Bingo. And I thought to myself, I wonder when the last time the whole world had the same problem at the same time. So at this minute, I was thinking about COVID. And I said, well, it was probably Noah's flood was the last time the whole planet had the same threat at the same time. And I was just astounded by that thought about the epicness of what we're dealing with today. And I thought, we don't have a lot in common amongst a lot of people in the world anymore, but we do have this threat in common. And I thought to myself, it's like Earth needs to send an SOS to God. And this thought hit my mind, Ted, and within 30 minutes, this song was written, Earth to God. And the picture that I had in my mind was like an old World War II guy sitting at an old CB radio, pushing down the button and saying, Earth to God, come in, God. Hailing God. And what does Earth want to hear God say back? We want to hear him say, this is God, come back, Earth. And when that thought landed squarely in my mind, I sat and wrote this song, and I feel more like a messenger than a singer on this particular song. I don't even feel like I wrote it, to be honest with you. It hit me like a bolt of lightning, and I recorded it, and a lot of people have been hearing it and getting a lot of strength and encouragement from this song. So thanks for bringing it up.
Well, and thank you for writing it, because I think it reflects what my buddy John Brenkus and I do every week on the Campfire. It's how I live my life. But John, before you jump in with my buddy Rich here, John, how old a guy are you?
46.
46. And when did you start creating music and really pursue a musical career? How young were you?
Well, I grew up in Amarillo, Texas. You can't make money playing music, man. You better be able to herd cows or drive a combine. That's about all there
Story
is.
of my life, buddy.
I know. But, my dad is a non-denominational prison preacher. My dad preaches in jails all around the U.S.
Wow.
And plays the guitar, sings, writes his own gospel songs. And that's where I was exposed to it. And in my teenage years, we moved to Tennessee. And I thought, wow, people actually make money playing music. I can't believe that. So I started getting more serious about it at about 15, 16 years old, and decided not to go to college, but just hit the road, went to work, and have been fortunate to make a pretty good career out of songwriting and singing. Honestly, I would call myself a songwriter first and foremost. That, to me, is the hardest thing to do.
Well, I didn't know this was the path we were going to go down by posing that question, but boy, does that make sense. So what do you're making music, you're writing fun songs. Before you came on, I don't know if you heard me, but I'm really pissed off in my life because I love my songs. I love the songs that I express myself, from sincere Fred Bear songs, sincere Stranglehold songs, to crazy Double Life Gonzo and Wango Tango. However, I'm angry. I told Sammy Hagar that I'm pissed off. I should have wrote I Can't Drive 55. I told Mick Jagger that I'm pissed off. I didn't write Street Fighting Man. I told Mark Farner that I'm really let down. I didn't write We're an American Band. And I want you to know, John Rich, that I'm really, really angry that I didn't write Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. That's my life.
I'm telling you, man, you would have been perfect. Well, I think being a songwriter, if you live life 360 like you do, like I do, and you're a songwriter, you wind up writing everything from Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy to Earth to God. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
but that's where I'm going. I didn't know that your father was a preacher. As John Rich immersed into musical, creating music, putting on dynamic stage show and standing up for what you believe in, did this inspiration for the song Earth to God, you explain how it just came to you. Would you use the term hit you like a lightning bolt because of the conditions of the world?
That's exactly how it happened. I was not in the mood to write a song. I was not thinking about a song. Matter of fact, quite the opposite. I was looking at this horrific shape the world was in and thinking to myself, there's no song to write about this. And if you did write a song about it, nobody'd want to hear it because we're so sick of it. Who wants to sing about that? But then the total 180 hit me of, yeah, but listen, Noah was in the flood, but he had a boat. Daniel was in the lion's den, but he closed the jaws of the lion. And you can go on and on throughout the Bible of these stories where human beings found themselves in insurmountable situations and they were still in the situation. You know, God didn't bail them out. He didn't make the situation go away. He gave them a way to survive the situation. And that's the thing we all have to keep in mind as you're watching this election, as you're watching COVID, you're watching forces out there that are creating an environment that we all know is wrong and evil in a lot of ways. God gives us no guarantees that he's going to give us easy situations. He just says that if we follow him and trust him, he'll make sure we survive it. That's the only guarantee he gives us.
I know you're impressing my cohort here, John Brenkus.
Yeah.
And I warned John that when we did this campfire together, that whether it was Billy Gibbons or Mark Farner or Mayor or Governor Huckabee or Governor Palin or Joe Piscopo or Ricky Medlock, no matter who comes on, John, you're listening to John Rich's explanation. It's really soulful, isn't it? Aren't my friends soulful?
It really is. And John, you know, first of all, thank you so much for sharing your gifts. You know, it takes courage to share a gift and to put yourself out there. And I love how you're expressing that you didn't really write this song. You know, you have so many amazing songs, but especially this, you know, especially Earth to God. When you talk about, hey, I didn't write this, it kind of came to me. Ted has always been talking about how it's out of body. You know, his music is out of body. He's standing on stage, he's out of body. And when we all feel like we're in the zone and when we feel like we meet somebody, we just talk forever and time flies right by. Tell us, in terms of Earth to God, every time you play it, does it feel like you just sort of go out of body because you're like, where did this come from?
Yeah, it feels like I'm talking to him every time I sing it. It's honestly, it's just a prayer with a melody put to it. That's all it is. I mean, it's one of the most simple lyrics you could possibly write. Earth to God, come in, God. I know you're there hearing our prayers wherever you are. I mean, it's just as simple as it gets. It's Johnny Cash simple. I mean, it just gets right to the point. And I think that's why it's impacting people so much. The world is complicated. The problems are complicated. It's chaotic. It's white noise. It's like a swarm of bees flying around your face every time you turn on the television. But a simple message and the simple truth is still there. And if you can lock in on that simple message and focus on that, for me, I find peace with that. I'm like, well, let the world just get as crazy as it wants. I know what's true. I know what's steady. I know what I believe.
Boy, that's a mantra that I think we all can live by, and many of us do. I mean, I was explaining when I first started the campfire tonight, I was in the belly of the beast all year with the president and Don Jr. and fighting for God, family, country, law and order, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule, the foundation for the greatest life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness in the history of the human species. And these are hard times. I have my escape in the woods and in the swamps, and I share literal campfires with families from all around the country every weekend, September, October, November. So it's an escape. It's a communication, open house, uninhibited dialogue I have around the campfire, and I think that's what we're having here right now, John. And in the crazy world of losing our tours, losing a lot of our career activities in 2020. Do you think that the fact that you weren't able to tour and that we have been suppressed in our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness in 2020, do you think that that element of angst, that element of, I mean, let's be honest, that fear. We see some of the negative powers against us, against the things that we believe in, against a president who we love. Do you think there was an element of desperation when you finally, like you said, you didn't write it, you channeled, you unleashed, you facilitated a prayer in a song titled Earth to God? It's not just a song, it's not just a prayer. It might be, I hate to use the terms last-ditch effort, but we've kind of let it get this stupid. So really, a communication with God through prayer may be the only hope. Do you think that?
Well, it is the only hope, Ted, period. It always has been. Since the day Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross and then rose from the dead, I mean, if mankind thinks he can fix his own problems, he's believing a lie. It's not true. We can't fix anything. Our heart doesn't beat without him allowing it to beat. You know, a friend of mine said, John, a friend of mine who's not a Christian, he said, John, do you think God knows what's going on down here? I said, well, it says in Scripture, he knows how many hairs are on your head, and he knows when a sparrow dies and hits the ground. And if he knows those minute details, of course he knows what's going on in the world. Well, why do you think he's letting these things happen? I go, I don't know. I'm not God. All I know is I trust him. I know where I'm going to wind up someday when my heart stops beating. I know where I'm going to be. And I think in times like these, serious people need to get serious about things. I don't mean you got to get bent out of shape or negative. I mean, be serious. If you really do believe in our country, if you really believe in God and you think he's real and he's the boss of your life, then you better start acting like it. You know, there's a lot of people in our country that say they're, quote, Christians, but they're Christians when it's convenient for them to be Christians. They're not.
When they can benefit from it, yeah.
If everybody likes what you're doing, you're not doing it right. You should have a lot of detractors.
Amen. You go back, I think I'm the poster child for that.
Of course. Well, that goes back to the red letters in the New Testament when Jesus said, if you're hot or I'd rather you be hot or cold, but if you're lukewarm, I'll spit you out of my mouth, which is probably as close to cussing as Jesus ever got. But his point was, be one or the other. Be if you're going to be a bad guy, be the worst bad guy. But if you're going to be on the other side, be bold about it. Don't apologize for it. And if they persecuted me, they're going to persecute you too. Get ready. And I think that's what Americans and Christians have to be ready to do now, is even in the face of what all they can do to us, so what? That's proof that I'm doing it the right way.
Ted, I want to our Spirit Campfire audience to really understand how special John Rich is, and especially the song Earth to God. Ted, I want to, we've never been able to take a break during a campfire and really listen to a song. But this to me feels like the right song at the right time for our audience. I want to give everybody a couple minutes heads up to listen to Earth to God and watch the video. We're going to be playing it. Grab your spouse, grab your children, call your friend, gather around. The whole point of the campfire, of the Spirit Campfire, is to perpetuate positive energy. And John Rich has delivered a gift straight from God for all of us. So gather around, however you're listening or watching, because we're going to be playing this song in a couple minutes.
After all, it is a campfire. Well, John, thank you so much for coming on our little electronic campfire here. You go back to cheering on your son. You give your family all the love from the Nugents and the Brenkus and from everybody across the country who still believes in God, family, country, freedom, law, and order. There is a huge army of great, great positive families in this country. And, John, I got to tell you, I love you anyhow, and I love your music, and I love your spirit. But I think I just accelerated my love for you tonight because you really expressed the heart and soul of the most important considerations, and that are alive and well in everybody I know, my band, my crew, my family, my grandkids, my hunting buddies, my guides. Everybody in my life was well represented by you tonight, John, and always, even when you're not on the campfire. But this Earth to God song prayer is about as timely as anything I've ever known. So John, go cheer your son. Have a wonderful, wonderful November. Get ready for a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we're going to get through this. We've gotten through worse before. And I think your song, Earth to God, may help people get through it.
Well, I appreciate you boys. Thanks for having me on and for doing what you're doing. God bless you. And as you would say, Uncle Ted, Godspeed.
Godspeed, John. God bless. I'll see you soon, I hope, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks, fellas.
Boy, now see, Brenkus, it's almost like we're off the Richter scale on positive friends and positive associates and positive guests on the Campfire. Was that awesome or what?
It is awesome. And honestly, I'm a fan of John Rich. I think his music is great. Listen, country music speaks the truth by and large, and I love it.
Let me go into a little bit more gory detail. When I did this Made in America big convention, a big rally with Big and Rich down in Indianapolis last year, Shemaine and I went down and hung out with some great families, and I was able to play Johnny B. Good, the national anthem, and Cat Scratch Fever and Stranglehold with John's band. And I got to tell you, playing Cat Scratch Fever properly with that Motown Funk Brother grind and playing Stranglehold properly with that inescapable rolling rhythm is one of the biggest musical challenges anyone will ever face. Let me tell you, Brink, because that's why I started this Campfire off by saying, that's not a country band. That's a rhythm and blues band. And I've said the same thing about Toby Keith's band. These guys are grinders. And when they played those songs with me, it was perfect. I was awesome. Like going, you gotta be kidding me. These guys just grinding like animals. So John Rich is a musical force to reckon
Absolutely.
with. He surrounds himself with musical forces. And I'm so glad we get to play John Rich's new mystical song, Earth to God, along with the video. How long is it, John?
It's 3 minutes.
Then let's let her rip if we think.
Let's let her rip. So Herbert, right before we press play on this, everyone, listen. I want you to remember one thing: is that when we say that we all pray, one thing that a priest said to me was, "Let your actions be your prayers."
Yes, I said that at one of our first campfires.
That's right.
It doesn't have to be a traditional prayer of words. It's how you conduct your life is a prayer.
That's right. How you live, how you think, how you speak is a prayer. Let's all gather around, grab everybody, and we're going to play John Rich, Earth to God right now. This is an amazing song.
And
watch
and
listen.
Go with it.
Earth to God, come in, God. I know you're there, hearing our prayers wherever you are. We need you now to send your love down. Take away the pain in your holy name. We ask this now. We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made. And save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God. We're holding on, but not for long. Can you pull us all close to the Holy Ghost and keep us strong? We need your light, we need your love to heal the world you made. And save us now in our darkest hour with your amazing grace. Earth to God. Earth to God. coming, God.
Real McCoy, Brenkus, right there, buddy.
Wow, that is powerful.
Powerful.
That's the
stuff.
right
John
song
Rick.
at the right time.
Good man, good man. And I want to say that there is power in prayer out there. I mean, I come off as a smart ass because I'm really good at it, because I am a smart ass, because I don't compromise. I know that God made me in his image and likeness, which is why the president called me a handsome devil, probably. But I stand my ground for all the right things. At the end of the day, the Motor City Madman, Reverend Theodosius Atrocious, the Whack Master, Strap Assassin 1, I am in the asset column. I'm in the asset column for my family. I'm in the asset column for you, John. I'm in the asset column for my neighbors. I'm in the asset column for our country. I produce, I sacrifice, I give. I keep trying harder and harder every day. My family is in the asset column. My band, my crew, Doug, Linda, everybody in my life. We make sure that we give, we don't take. And I'd like to think that John Rich's song, Earth to God, couldn't come at a more appropriate time. He alluded that it was inspired by the shared tragedy of the communist virus that is hurting planet Earth. But now here in America, we are facing something just as cruel, more dangerous because of its eternal longevity, and that is the abandonment of the foundational values of this country as represented by the Democrat, what used to be the Democrat Party. Now it's Antifa. It's the terrorists of Black Lives Matter. It's what the Democrats have put forth in cruelly allowing Joe Biden to embarrass himself day after day. And he's going to end the Second Amendment. He's going to defund the police. He's going to take earnings from hardworking Americans and give it to people who come into our country illegally. I could go on and on. So I'd like to think that right now, November 5th, my grandson Jack's birthday, and another day of my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, now is the time for us to look to the heavens, the power of prayer. But don't just pray and then go about your life. Pray. Let those energies and the positive spirit of your prayers to God Almighty give you insight, give you energy, give you power, and give you the vision to communicate the things that you're asking God help with to your elected employees. We are no better than how accurately we are represented by our elected employees in government. The mayor, the governor, your senators, and your congressmen, they have to know what your family expects from them. You've got to tell them you believe in God. Only if you do. I'm not telling you what to say, but I tell them, I want you to represent my family who believes in God, family, country, Constitution, Bill of Rights, law, and order. And if you don't express that, it will continue to be whittled away to now you see an entire political party in America that is against all that stuff. So Earth to God, help us take back our country.
Yep. And ultimately, Ted, I think that the ultimate virus is a bad thought. Thoughts are contagious.
It's metastasized to a dangerous level.
It does. And you know what? You know why bad thoughts are the ultimate virus? Because bad thoughts turn into bad actions.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So make sure that when you are praying to whatever God you pray to, make sure that you are filling yourself up with positive energy, positive thoughts, so that you can be a positive force through action. That's the only way that we all get out of this.
Yep.
And however this all shakes out, we need to make sure that we come back to center and love our neighbor by loving ourselves. If we love ourselves, we can take care of our family and take care of our neighbors. If we pollute our brains with terrible thoughts, we're never going to get out of this. So we need more events like the Spirit Campfire, where we sit around, we're able to exchange ideas, and most importantly, we perpetuate positive energy.
Yeah, not just keeping the toxins out of your thought process, but John, I'm going to continue to emphasize we need to be more conscientious about keeping the toxins out of our bodies. We need to eat better. We need to drink more water, no more sugary stuff. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but it's none of your business. Well, if you want me to pay for your health care, you might want to care about your health. And so your mind won't be any stronger than your body is strong. I believe that.
Ted, imagine this. How the number one cause of death in the world is cardiovascular disease, often caused by a poor diet. How many people are taking their masks off to fill it with fast food?
What?
It's like what's more likely to kill you?
I saw a guy dropping his mask the other day and smoking.
Exactly. Here we go. And then think of this. So in the state of Oregon, it's illegal to be walking around without a mask, but you can inject heroin and cocaine. That's perfectly legal now. What kind of world do we live in? What has happened?
I want to thank Patriot Mobile again, because I hope you people at the Campfire, I hope you like the bun-warming embers that we provide here, but we aren't providing them. Patriot Mobile is providing them.
That's right.
Please go to patriotmobile.com/Ted Nugent. Is this a commercial? Yeah, I suppose it is, because I want to keep the Campfire going. I love this. I get such incredible feedback. People like the openness, the uninhibitedness, the honesty, the freedom, communication, and sharing of ideas. But if you believe in the Spirit Campfire, you need to be involved with Patriot Mobile. They are a great, great organization that stands behind the things that we stand for here at the Spirit Campfire. So please go to, is it patriotmobile.com/Ted?
Patriotmobile.com/Ted. Patriotmobile.com/Ted.
And I keep trying to emphasize some good conservative family businesses. And I've talked about this before, but this is just a bunch of people. I'm going to gather up a whole bunch of them as we continue the Spirit Campfire. But this is an incredible product. I believe in this product. This is a great product. It works better than anything else I tried. It lasts for years. It takes no energy to recharge. All you do is put it with your guns and your ammo or your guitar, anything to keep away moisture. It's all organic. It's safe for pets. I could read stuff off here, I suppose. But it's called firearmguards.com. And you can just go to their website. But these things are inexpensive. They absolutely work. I have them in all my guitar cases, in all my gun cases, and it's organic, and it whisks away moisture and keeps your stuff safe. So this is a family business that I believe in, and I'm going to try to find, I got so many people send me stuff to talk about, but before I talk about them, I test them, and I like to support mom and pop businesses, and this is the one I'm supporting tonight.
So listen, this has been an amazing Campfire.
Another amazing. Brenkus, I salute you and Courtney and everybody else. And Herbert, is it Herbert?
Of course it's Herbert.
Herbert. I got another Harold over here, so I keep heralding and herberting. But John, thank you. Thank John Rich. Please, I guess you can go to johnrich.com and probably download Earth to God. It's a great song. It's the right time. And it's not too late, my friends. Call your elected employees, your mayor, your governor, your senator, and your congressman need to know what you believe in. Because if they haven't heard from you, you can tell that many of them are being impacted by people who are against what you believe in, because the other side is louder and more active than our side. So this is November 5th. Happy birthday, Jack, my wonderful grandson, Jack. Thank you, everybody at the Spirit Campfire. Thank you, everybody who comes on my Facebook. But if we don't raise more hell, i.e., ruffle and pluck more feathers for the things we believe in, they will continue to be chipped away at. So let's rock like we've never rocked before.
Amen. I think that's a mic drop, Uncle Ted. Are you going to play us out?
Are you going to play?
Play us out. Play something, man. You were just jamming before. I had the great honor of being able to sit there just listening to you make something up, and you were channeling God.
I really was. I'm just coming up. See you Monday, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll be whacking them and stacking them because the planets are aligning, the Bucks are going nuts, and my walk-in cooler is filled to capacity, and I got a lot more arrows. Brenkus, that was a great show, man. God bless you. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Herbert.
God bless everyone.
Thank you, America. I love you madly. Do you feel the love? Get out your marshmallows. Those are flames coming out of my ass.